So Ohuhu reached out to me and were like, hey, we want to send you a bunch of markers. Do you want them? And I was like, yes. So they sent me this giant 48 set of pastel colors and I am so super in love. Now, get out whatever markers you have and get prepared to draw with me. We're doing an awesome face chart inspired project. I'm on a total face chart obsessed streak right now. So anytime I'm testing new products, I'm gonna be drawing me a face and color it in via face chart style. Now, face charts have been around since the 80s, inspiring makeup artists where to put the makeup, so many markers, on their models' faces, and they are so fun to draw. So seriously, grab a pencil, come and draw with me. Then I'm gonna show you how and what colors I'm going to use to color in from this pastel set by Ohuhu. You guys, these markers are awesome. There's links in the description box if you want to get your hands on some. I love alcohol markers. Just remember, all brands, all nibs work interchangeably. So if you have a different brand or you haven't gotten these ones yet, but you want to still play along today, you totally can. Just bust out any markers that you have already. But seriously, Ohuhus are great, and I'll go over why in the video. All right, but also draw with me. Come on, let's do it. And before I forget, I just thought this was really funny to show you how obsessed I am with alcohol markers. I just want to show you how many books I've published. This is about half of all my published books, and how many of them feature alcohol markers. Like, my obsession is no joke. And I almost forgot, this book too, which is actually my bestseller, also features marker work. Oh my gosh, so dumb. So here are the 48 gorgeous colors, and I did take the time to swatch every single one. These little swatch faces, by the way, come out of my Skin Tone Secrets Marker Edition book, which is available on Amazon. It actually teaches you how to shade and color a ton of skin tone variations with Ohuhu markers, believe it or not. And that book was not sponsored. I was not paid by them to make that book. That's how much I love these. So you have about 5 blue shades, the same amount of green, a small handful of purples, a lovely fistful of pink shades. I have about 5 different yellow ones, which is good. Yellow is not my favorite. Here's some skin tone possibilities for you, and then there's a nice selection of neutrals. It's a really lovely, lovely set, I have to say. So this one was where I started. I used to pick out the skin tones first just to see what I can do. And yeah, there's a good 7 or 8 contenders. So just taking a look at the barrel real quick, you have a lovely brush nib, and you also have a chisel. Chisel is great for giant swaths of area that you need to cover. And the brush nib I use pretty much all the time. You can get very painterly strokes. All right, bust out your pencils, my friend, because it is drawing time. All right, guidelines. That guidelines is actually a cheat sheet that I have available as a free PDF. If you would like your copy, just request it in the comment section. I will drop you a link, and I'm happy to share that resource with you. I also love this ellipse template. Lately, I've been using it for absolutely everything. Eyes, nose, mouth, ears. It's like the best. And I had just dropped a link there to my Amazon shop, which is where I house all the collection of all my favorite art supplies, like the paper I'm using, which is Bristol, the pencil I'm using. Everything you see me using is in my Amazon shop. So we are using our face guidelines to set up our symmetry, both vertically and horizontally, using the ellipse template to help draw the eyes, nose, and mouth, which are, thanks to my cheat sheet, are all spaced perfectly. At least that's the aim. Notice I keep that eye oval in the middle till the very end, making sure that my eye space is perfecto. That's kind of everything. All right, so then when you have everything where you want it, you can just erase your extraneous guidelines. And I'm adding in a little bit of a lower lid on the eyes because that's where my eyelashes are going to go. And then it's color picking time, my friend, which is like the most fun part. And I saw this little, I flashed a picture of the reference that I was inspired by, and it was this face chart face, like I mentioned, but then there was some flowers across it. And I thought, oh my gosh, that would be perfect to use with my pastel set. And I just thought it would be gorgeous color palette. And I was not disappointed at the end of this. And I have to say, I've never drawn a face with this palette before. I'm a very like obnoxiously bold colorer, and I like crazy shading and dark dramatic colors, and I loved like not being able to do that with this project. I know that sounds weird, but having a limited palette is actually very it's very safe. I know that my shading isn't going to be obnoxious, which I kind of like a little bit of obnoxious shading, but it keeps my shading tame, and I'm giving you all the colors that I'm using. If you notice, when I switch markers, I will bring up the colors for you here in this video, so you don't have to go searching around for them if you decide you want to buy this set for yourself. So I'm starting with the lightest, nice skin tone color, and I'm just putting a nice even coat around the whole thing. I try not to go over any places more than one time, because you get kind of a dark spot. You can see the places where I have is sort of streaky. It was definitely a challenge to kind of weasel in and around all the flowers, I'm not going to lie. And then so for my shading, we are adding the first of the darkest color, which is sand. And this is the darkest skin tone in the set. So of course that's the one I'm going to use, because I love me some dramatic face shading. So I'm adding you can notice I'm adding this darker tone around her hairline, cheeks, nose, under the chin, under the mouth, under the nose, pretty much under everything, and then along her nose bridge. And then I went back to the original color. This is the first color I used, and I'm smearing it over everything. The last video I published on this channel is like a green, freaky face chart inspired Halloween. I think I did 15 layers on that face to get it smooth. So the upshot of having a slight contrast of skin color is that you don't need to do so many coats. You can just do like 2 or 3 layers and you're good. But if you have a lot of streakiness and it's driving you crazy, just use your light color over and over, and it will eventually get rid of all those streaks. Hot tip coming to you. All right, so here's the first blue. I also confess I used the brightest of all the color families. It's like the best that I could do for a pastel set. I don't know why I'm so I have to be obnoxious with my colors. It's just a thing. So I loved this challenge. Again, I'm using the darkest blues, and then this is the darkest purple, and I'm kind of just like sprinkling them everywhere. So there's purple in the flowers, her eyes, if you see, it's even on her nose and her mouth, and then I put it in her hair. So that face chart reference I started with was the springboard. Actually, the markers were the springboard for the color palette, but then I went crazy and extended the color palette that was in that reference also like to her hair, and like just kicked it up a million notches. So you can use references in a ton of different ways. So I used it very literally for the flowers, and then I went like gangbusters and took it in my own direction with everything else. So awesome. All right, so now I'm doing, of course, the brightest pink, which is this lovely hollyhock. I mean, I really, truly love these colors. Doing the same thing, I'm putting them in the flowers, eyes, makeup, nose, mouth, hair, just repeat it everywhere. It's also, this is just a very solid way to achieve a very nice comprehensive composition in any medium that you're working with. This is a very like a kind of an age-old artist tip when you're trying to add cohesiveness to your whole composition piece. You want to sprinkle and repeat the same colors over and over. And actually, you do kind of the same thing when you're like decorating your house. You know, you repeat colors from room to room, or you can have the same colors in your rug that are in your throw pillows, that are in your curtains. It's the same thing applies to artwork. Here's some yellow. Again, I hate yellow, so I never, ever, 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 ever use it. And I love that I was forced to use it because it was in the reference, and I was like, oh, fine, I'll use some yellow if I have to. And I absolutely loved it. Loved it. And actually love how this whole thing turned out, but it was definitely an adventure. Working a totally foreign color palette in way much lighter colors than I ever work with ever. So there's a lot of firsts for me with this one. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Here is the lightest color, which is this light hot pink. And I end up using this not only in her makeup and the flowers and her hair, nose, mouth, everywhere, but I also end up actually incorporating a lot of this into the skin. It was a really, really pretty light pink. And I noticed right away, I kind of accidentally like went into her skin tone and I was like, ooh, that's really lovely. We can sprinkle that in here and everywhere. Because it was just so light. So I never use the colorless blender. There is one that's included with a set. I find that the best blending always occurs when you specifically use other colors. Use a lighter color because you want the pigment. You need the pigments to blend. There's no pigment in a colorless blender, so all it's doing is getting your paper wet, which is gross, and then it's the same color, just wet. So if you want true blending with alcohol markers, you want to be sure to use colors together, and that's what creates blending. And I have like a bajillion of my best tips on how to use alcohol markers in that Skin Tone Secret books. That book is made specifically to teach you how to color with alcohol markers, and specifically skin tone, and specifically how to shade and add dimension with your skin tones. This is my second favorite writing and drawing instrument. It's by Pentel. It's called the Sign Pen. And again, everything is listed in my Amazon shop. Normally I would use my pocket Pentel brush pen, but the color palette is so light and airy that I was really terrified that my normal pen was going to be way too overwhelming. So I think I did make the right choice in reaching for this one. This is kind of like the baby sister of the pocket Pentel brush pen, where this is a very fine tipped brush pen, but it's still very powerful. There is a learning curve to work with these because there's bristles and it's not just a nib. And so it's very sensitive to the touch. So it can make, you can make a big disaster if you're not quite careful. But the overall effect, I think, was spot on. I absolutely loved working with these markers. I absolutely loved working with this color palette. Again, first time, totally. I have always recommended Ohuhu markers, so I was tickled pink when they offered these set to me, and I'm very grateful for them. I will make a lot of use of this. If they want to send me anything else, I would be more than happy to demonstrate how to use them on my YouTube channels. So please check out this playlist, which gives you all my best tips on how to work with alcohol markers if you are new. You also might enjoy this whole face chart inspired series. We are just getting started. This is week 2, and this is going to continue for a while. I also have a Whimsical Women of the World playlist, which again is also tons of gorgeous alcohol marker artwork. So just my fave. Thank you so much for Ohuhu, and go check out the description box for more information on how to grab your own set.